Howdy there, Bronco fans, on this AFC Champion edition of Bronco Planet. George, we're going to the Super Bowl,
baby. We're going to the Super Bowl. Santa Clara, yay, baby. It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
What a way to go. Your Denver Broncos, man. What a whirlwind season we've had, George. What a whirlwind game. And I don't know how many times we can come here week after week and talk about the heart attacks we have. And yet again, the whole game, I'm on pins and needles. I don't know about you, George.
Well, there's 12 seconds left when the pass goes incomplete for the 2-point conversion. I mean, how can it get any closer than that? I told you, I've had a heart attack. I had a defibrillator there in my den there watching the game. I'd used it 12, 15 times. I'll tell you, to restart my heart.
At your age, George, I would recommend having that anyway. No.
Oh, well, okay. That's beside the point. I got it, but I don't have to use it 12 times during a football game.
Well, let's break this ball game down right out of the gate, though. How great was it to see the Broncos moving the ball down the field and finally getting, our tight ends and Owen Daniels. Boy, you want to talk about a guy who's, Gary Kubiak goes out and finds these guys for a reason. Not many of those players follow him around everywhere. And Owen Daniels delivers big time for the Broncos.
And he and Peyton didn't really even have any kind of a relationship.
Yep.
Not much of. You notice the first pass was to Vernon Davis.
Yep.
Vernon Davis.
Who, by the way, I think, and how great is it for him to go back to his old town? I think you're going to see a little Vernon Davis in the Super Bowl.
I think they're trying to work him in because he still has the speed and the hands and the skill. But look at OD. Catches 2 passes, both of them for touchdowns.
What a country bumpkin guy this guy is, huh? Isn't he? Just like
he's my kind of guy.
I know, right?
Talks like me, looks like me.
And then the other guy who
plays like me too.
Yes, the other guy that on the defensive side that Gary brought along with him, who's played just great this season, Stewart, right? And just hard hits and a great interception in that game that really made a difference. So fantastic start. We get a couple of scores early. And then that defense.
We never trailed. Never trailed. Now, I want to boil this game down for all the fans to tell you how simple it is.
Well, that's why you're here, George.
That's why I'm here. Yeah. Okay. Number 1, the Broncos score 2 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
That's 12 points. Mm-hmm. The Patriots scored 2 touchdowns. That's 12 points. The Broncos kicked 2 field goals. That's 6. So now we got 18. They kicked 2 field goals. They got 18. We kicked 2 extra points. That's 20. And they don't get any.
Yep.
Can you believe that? 523 extra points in a row, and he misses an extra. That changed the entire complex of the game.
Yeah, and there isn't a better kicker, I don't think.
No, he's the best.
Yeah, so it was
divine intervention is what it was.
It didn't nothing, and I love it when it's in our favor, right? Sometimes you see that stuff happening, right? You saw that year that we on the backside of this, right? The Baltimore series, Ray Lewis's last season. No matter what happened, it just seemed like destiny was on their side, and I'm hoping that we get that paid back to us, George.
That's right. That's right. Destiny was on their side because the temperature was in the 20s.
Well, here's what I love about the playoffs, George. In the playoffs, you get to see who's going to step up and who's not going to step up. We saw it earlier with the Minnesota Vikings. We see the missed field goal. You see it, with teams that like the Chiefs, right?
Well, Cleveland missed that field goal. I mean, Cincinnati missed that field goal.
Yeah, so it comes down to who are going to be the big players when the game's on the line, and that's why I think you see guys like Alex Smith go away. How about DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller and that Derek Wolfe? These guys are stepping up when it counts the most.
But who didn't step up? Our $71 million wide receiver.
Yeah,
but that means next week is his week.
I do think, here's what we do know about Demaryius Thomas, right? Demaryius Thomas, in the last Super Bowl he played,
he set the record for the most receptions in a Super Bowl. Not the most yards, but the most receptions. 13.
That's the Demaryius Thomas, because you're right. The $10 million plus a year, he has been the $10 million non-factor.
Right.
He has been Sanders diving all over, making great plays.
That catch Sanders made, unbelievable. That was Play of the game right there. Change the field position by 30, 40 yards.
Yep. Cody Latimer doing his part.
Yeah.
Special teams yet again. Kayvon Webster, Latimer doing great there. And Colquitt doing a fine job of putting us in good field position. So everybody's putting it together, but Demaryius Thomas and Peyton Manning are kind of the X factor coming up. I was very disappointed. I know you were too, with the offensive play calling. 7 passes for Manning in the second half. And I knew right when that sideline reporter asked him, coming out, what are you going to do, Derek? Well, we got to establish a run game and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be painful. And every first down,
1 yard.
1 yard, minus 1 yard, 2 yards if you're lucky. Second and long, we're going to pass. Oh, we're going to get sacked. It was so vanilla. It was ridiculous.
How about that fumble play? Was that the dumbest play you ever saw? Number one, what's Ronnie Hillman got for brains?
Yeah.
Cauliflower? I mean, you're going there. You can see it's a backward pass. And he looks at Peyton like, what a sorry-ass pass that was. It wasn't a pass, you idiot. It was a lateral.
I know.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Hillman.
So that's kind of a gimme touchdown for them.
Yep.
So the defense was, we gave them the ball right there at the 20-yard line, somewhere around there.
Well, once again.
Easy touchdown.
Yeah, once again to the playoff point, George. Who's going to step up and who's not? Chris Anderson is up for the task. Ronnie Hillman not doing much for me. I mean, he's just, his blocking pretty shaky. He's not getting through the line the way CJ's doing right now. So I know it's been almost a 50-50 split, but I'm telling you what, come Super Bowl time, I want to see 75% CJ Anderson. I could even take 90%.
Yeah, we got 99 yards.
That's
30 carries for 99 yards. That's 3.333 yards. That sucks.
That's pretty sucky.
That sucks. But they rushed 17 times for 44 yards. How about that? That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
All right, so that's, and then let me add this too. At the end of the game, we win. Everybody's celebrating. It's great. We have the big presentation of the trophy. And I'm wondering, where the heck is Wade Phillips? I mean, it's great that Kubiak was roommates with Elway. It's great that there's a whole Peyton Manning story. We love Peyton. We're glad to see that Cinderella story happen. And that's what sells newspapers. But they didn't talk to anybody on the defensive side. There was no Wade Phillips. And although Gary Kubiak has done a good, solid job with this Denver Bronco team and come in for a tough situation, as Elway keeps saying, Wade Phillips is the hero of this team.
There's no question. But he got recognized for that, too.
Well, not as much as I want to
co-coach
see.
of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, so he got it. But
I want Wade on the podium, George. I want Wade on there. I want to hear Von Miller. I want to hear the defense, because guess what? That whole second half told you, they basically said, we're giving up on offense. This is all going to be won by our defense, which almost backfired, because if you recall, they had to call a timeout to let DeMarcus Ware rest towards at the end of the game,
right.
Because he had so worn out. It's because he was on the freaking field the whole second half.
That's right.
It's like you got to establish some drives, and I get it. You have to run. I get you got to have that. It's an important part of this game plan, but it always can't be on first down when they're expecting it. I could call play by play everything that they were doing, George. It was pissing me off.
Oh, like I said, but I told you I used the defibrillator, and that was on first down every time when we gave a handoff for 1 yard.
Yeah.
Give me a break. And every fan goes, why did they do that stupid thing for? But you understand, they have to keep the other team's defense honest.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit, let's transition a little bit to Carolina and what worked for us this time and what I think needs to work for us again. So the look in Tom Brady's eyes was unbelievable. I've never seen a guy, and although he drives me crazy just because he's so good, he was so flustered, and he had been,
he got hit 23 times.
When he's used to 12? Is that the regular time? So, yeah. And I think all year long he had something like 99 times he had been hit.
For the
whole season.
Yeah. And they'd already played 18 games.
So
that's like 6 times a game.
And speaking of 6, that was only 6 times, George, that the Broncos blitzed in that game. So
that's right.
It was all pressure from Derek Wolfe, Malik Jackson, the big 4.
4-man rush pressure, which gave us 7 guys to cover them. So Brady doesn't have time to find anybody, and nobody's open because they're all covered.
Yep, and I think how we got to take that towards Carolina, I think still big 4 pressure, but instead of covering everybody, right? You're going to have two guys, not just one guy. Because, come on, let's be serious, folks. Is Jonathan Stewart really going to beat us?
No.
Is Ginn really going to beat us?
No.
Although I like him. I picked him up on a few fantasy teams. But and is Olsen's one of the better tight ends in the NFL, but he's no Gronk, right? He's one of the better ones. So you're going to have to bracket him for sure. But you're going to have two chasers, if you will, that are just camped out there because Cam Newton is this offense. Cam Newton gets running, doing the Superman plays and running around, which he really is the MVP.
He's doing college plays and schoolyard plays.
Yes.
Just running all over the place. The key word is called containment.
Yes, sir.
I mean, last week was hit Brady. This time it's contain Cam.
Yep.
Containing. Just keep those running lanes blocked because he's not going to really beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his legs.
Yeah. Well,
so why don't we just break his leg?
Well, the way TJ,
fair, do it fair.
Yes, TJ Ward and the way those guys hit. That's for sure. They could do that. But I don't know. I think you got to give more respect on his accuracy and his arm. This is the most complete all-around This is the new era quarterback, George.
Well, we'll find out. When they lose the game, people will rethink that concept.
Yeah.
They'll rethink that concept a little.
Well,
because we're going to show the rest of the NFL how to beat Cam Newton.
Yep.
You contain him. And let's cover their receivers like a shadow.
Well, but here's the scary part, George.
We're not scared.
Yes. Well, here you should be a little bit scared. Here's why.
Okay.
31 points on Seattle. Seattle's got a tremendous defense too. Look at Carol. Look at what they did to the Cardinals. This team has really stuck to this.
Seven turnovers, but
that's because their defense
sucked.
That's because their defense is equally strong. Their defense is really good. Come on, George.
Their defense made that guy fumble that punt.
I know.
That would have been a 3-point game. He fumbles the punt. That interception, he should have never thrown that one that took in for a touchdown. Whatever. Come on. Carson played the worst game. That was about as bad as Peyton's game against the Chiefs.
Yep.
Come on. The guy stunk the whole stadium up.
He did have a bad game, but here's where it works in our favor.
Which makes the Panthers look a lot better than they really are.
Well, I agree with that, but here's how it's going to work in our favor, and we're not going to take it from me. We're going to take it from the great Carl Mecklenburg. I heard him get interviewed this week, and he summed it up perfectly. Think back to that Seattle game that we had in the Super Bowl. The Broncos had that Star Wars offense. They were unstoppable. They were scoring at will, and they were so confident in what they were doing. And then tough defense. A little stuff got in their head right out of the gate. That crappy snap by Ramirez.
No, the snap was fine.
Yeah.
Peyton was just looking over at some lady in the stands. I don't know.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, once that flustered happened, all of a sudden things were spinning. And so I think Carolina's had their way all season long. And when they start getting the coverage they're going to see, they're going to get the pressure, that containment happens. I think Cam is going to get flustered. And I think if you can do it to Brady, who's seasoned, who's been to all those Super Bowls, you can fluster him. You don't think you can fluster a young 26-year-old Cam Newton? But I love the guy. I know some people don't like his antics. They think he's too showboaty. This is the quarterback of the future. But I'm putting my money on I'm going old school versus new era.
Old school. Okay, I am too. I'm with you all the way.
And so what we're seeing destiny plays its way out. So obviously, keys to this Bronco game, no turnovers. We cannot afford to turn over the ball. Peyton Manning's done an outstanding job. Yes, it's vanilla at times. It's a little boring, but no turnovers. That's going to be crucial.
Well, look, offense wins games, defense wins championships.
Amen, brother.
But I think our offense is going to do a little bit more than they've been doing. I think we'll game plan them. Let me tell you, you're talking about our game against Seattle. Our problem was John Fox.
Yes.
He did not have that team prepared. Not at all. They were lackadaisical. They were favored. That's not good. Yeah. You go in there, we're playing these guys. Come on. John Fox was not prepared. And that's why John Fox is up there coaching a 4-12 team.
Exactly. And the thing that jumped out about you about that game, to your point, George, is he even said, the crowd noise threw us off. And it's like, what?
What?
It's a Super Bowl. There's going to be no. I mean, just that was the stupidest statement. That was not a prepared team. I think Wade and Gary are very focused. I like that we're an underdog, and I really think we can fluster Cam. And if you can control him, I'm telling you, Jonathan Stewart's not going to beat us.
No, it's all about Cam. Everybody, look, every talk show, they're all talking about Superman. Well, when he rips his shirt open at the end of this game, it's going to say, loser.
Either that or have one of Von Miller's cleat marks on his chest, because Von definitely lights out 2.5 sacks. I don't even know where had
4
like 9
hurries,
hits. Yes,
knockdowns,
INT.
Too bad he stumbled on that, because that was a pick 6 right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, he pulled a little Eric Decker there, got tripping on a blade of grass or
trimmed
something.
over his own. Yeah. I'll tell you, but I want you to remember this. When Cam starts running, he ain't a quarterback anymore.
Yeah.
He's a runner. And I'll tell you, these guys are going to hit him like a freight train. It's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel there, Cam, but guess what? It's a freight train coming at you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Amen.
So that's the key. So anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed that fantastic Bronco game, and we're going to ask you to go visit Bill's Sports Collectibles. We're in the playoffs. Lots of great memorabilia. Right. If you haven't bought into Orange Fever now, go down to Bill's. Enjoy all the great things he has there, the helmets, the swag.
I could spend a month in that store and not see everything.
I love it.
Gotta love it, yeah.
And then Sheridan Billiards, of course, that gave us this great pool table out here at the man cave.
The one that I consistently kick your ass on, but that's another story.
That is true. Good thing I can whoop you in ping pong, though.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it evens out, George, when it's all said and done.
Right on.
So anyway, and we got a special treat for you guys coming up next week. We have, obviously no game this Sunday. We're bringing in Rick Upchurch, folks. Got into the Ring of Fame a couple years ago.
That's right.
Finally, the all-time return specialist.
I was going to say, could this guy run kickoff? We need to put him on the team.
Oh, man.
He can still run kickoffs back.
I would love it. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Another Broncos win. George, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Amen, brother.
The 50th Super Bowl.
50th Super Bowl.
And our 8th trip.
About Peyton's age, but that's okay. That was a little joke there, Peyton.